I'm Todd Ferguson. I'm a drummer in a string band.
I'm Michael Lasowski, and I'm a mandolin player and singer.
I'm Jody Daniels, and I am the banjo player.
For Grassland String Band.
It was a good piece you had today on the radio. I really enjoyed it. And I found that interesting, that little story about how you kind of got started as far as meeting at a open mic night. I was wondering, what do you think you'd be doing if you hadn't crossed paths that night?
I think Jody and I would both be at work right now. I'm playing hooky for my job as a high school teacher at the moment. And Jody works with the Athens Housing Authority and has held that position for a long time. So,
you know, the way things go, I think sometimes music is just a passion. I mean, whether it's a hobby or a profession, you're going to be playing if you can play, right?
I know I'd be doing something because it's not in my nature to just sit. So I always look for a project, which is kind of why when he walked in the door and I saw that, I was already looking for something to do. It was such a good night. I mean, he sang with my daughter. He sang a song, and what song was that, Michael?
It was When You Say Nothing All.
But I was there looking for it, and so I think if Michael had not been there, eventually I would have found something, but I don't believe that it would have been this good.
Yeah, I think what I would be doing is I was actually going to move home back to Gainesville, Florida from Athens because I had been broken up with a couple times, my girlfriend who had moved to Athens to be with. And just a side note, I didn't move to Athens for music. I dropped out of college in Michigan, and I moved to Athens for a girl. I had no idea there was a music scene. So it was not my intention, which is...
Did you just say you had no idea it was a music scene?
Yeah, I never heard REM. I'd never heard the BF-52. I mean, I heard Rock Lobster and Losing My Religion, but I never thought about them. Because I was just a bluegrass guy. I wasn't into the whole indie or rock scene, and I'm 25, so I'm pretty young. It was kind of before my time. But yeah, I moved there for a girl, and she broke up with me, and now she's my wife.
Oh, whoa!
But
story comes full circle.
No, so I know I have this really huge problem where I like say the punchline before the joke. Yeah, so that's why I sing songs, because it's formatted to where I can know what I'm doing, and I have to stay within the bounds of it. It's good for my ADHD.
I think there's medication for this too.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to the story. Squirrel.
So you were about to
I was about to leave, and so I think all in all, to bring it full circle, is meeting these guys, meeting Jody, and the band forming and staying together and becoming successful in its own right. Kept me in Athens, and eventually I did get the girl.
It was because you were in a band now.
Well, yeah, no. I remember she got back with me after she came to see one of my shows, and I was like, "Girl, I don't need you now."
Yeah,
you wrote a song about that.
I was like, "I don't need you now."
Yeah.
And then she loved me even more after that.
Oh, there you go.
She's like, "Wow, he's a real stud now." Yeah. I'm just teasing, but yeah, no, she's beautiful. I love her. I love you, baby.
Oh, how long has the band been together, as far as in whatever format? Because you're 6-piece, right?
Correct. 2014 was our first record, and so we started sometime spring of 2013, I think. So about 3 years ago.
And now you just released your EP. What's your next thing? Now that's done, right? You don't have to do anything about that, right? That was the key. You got to do is record it, and then it sells itself out.
Well, we're sitting here on this day, release day, that we've been looking forward to for a long time. You know, a lot of work has gone on behind the scenes, and we're musicians first. We're not managers or any of that, promoters or any of that stuff. So, as an indie artist, you kind of have to figure that map out on your own, and what works and what doesn't. So, we were ready to release this with our Athfest appearance this summer in June. And Michael said, "Hey guys, let's hold back a little bit." And we sat down at a restaurant and over dinner talked about, what can we do to move forward and really promote this and sit on it for a little bit. And at first, I was so excited about it, I wanted everybody to hear it. I didn't want to sit on it 2 months, but we listened to Michael's advice, and I'm really glad we did, because we've had some opportunities with some airplay in the interview we had today with WABE and some print exposure and things like that. That hopefully we'll get some more eyes on the recording.
Oh, I'm sure you will, because it's fabulous. I mean, people are going to enjoy it. There's no way around it. What makes you decide to do an EP rather than a full length, or as some people just dribble out song after song?
So Jody had this song, and it's really encouraging. It's on the EP, Boom Boom. And that was the initial song of like, okay, we need to record this. And then we realized we needed to not just record that song, we needed to record these other 3 songs that really had kind of become really signifiers of our evolution as a band. So we wanted to show people like the full scope. Like, here is 4 songs that represents what we can do.
Right.
The virtuosity of the guitar player and the fiddle player and their soloing, the ability for us to sing our harmonies and do it super well and make really rich, enticing harmonies, and to also show how our songwriting had changed, had evolved, become more confessional, deeper, more anthemic, something that was more realized. And so these 4 songs, we wanted to have something that could be very approachable, that we wouldn't have to spend months on recording. We wanted to get them super solid, and so we just went up to Echo Mountain, and we had these 4 songs, and we said, we're going to do it no matter what, and we made it happen.
And is the lineup pretty solid, or is it evolving?
Yeah, so our bass player, Nathan Elder, love you, Nathan. I know you will be listening to this because you're an awesome bass player. But Nathan recently moved away, and we have a new bass player. Actually, we have 2 new bass players. We have a guy who's working with us right now named Derek. He's really picked up and done his homework, and he's done an amazing job. And another man, Chris Inghauser, who is yet to join us, but we're going to have 2 that will revolve between which dates he might be available. And then also we're on our CD release show on Saturday at the Foundry. We're actually having a guest appearance by Chris Costigan, who's an amazing saxophone player in the region, and he's going to jump in on some of our songs and join us. It sounds great. Yeah, basically it's becoming Bella Fleck and the Flecktones. No, it's cheesy. But no, and then also we actually had a guitar player we switched guitar players back about a year and a half ago, which was a part of our evolution to where we are now, because we introduced electric guitar into the band and kind of moved us into that Amerigrass territory and elevated our sound.
So when you say Amerigrass as a way to describe your music, what does it mean to you?
Americana bluegrass. But I say that because bluegrass, I grew up in the bluegrass scene, and I love the virtuosity of the music, but it's boring. Ultimately, it's very boring. Because once you hear it...
Don't sell it too hard, Michael. I'm
going to sell it because those they know that. They know that.
Yeah.
It's more about tradition than it is about progression. Right. It's a lot of it's a lot of 3-chord songs and the same melody over and over again, just little variations in it. But there's a beauty in that because it gives you a foundation. So our band comes from that foundational, like very simple music. Like, we know the chords. It's like 3 or 4 chords and the truth. But the thing about bluegrass songwriting and is that it might not have the most confessional nature to it. It doesn't really open up the floodgates of like what you can sing about. Mostly it's just about losing your lover or a mountain house or something like that of that nature. But within the Americana realm, you can sing about whatever you want. It covers all sorts of American music. It's just the blanket, the catch-all for American roots music.
So Jody, do you come from a bluegrass background or country or...
I played guitar. I picked up banjo about 8 years ago, so I'm kind of new to to bluegrass in a way. But I played country music most of my 20s and into my 30s. But I owned a banjo, but I just never really played it. I mean,
I think that's half the battle, Jay.
Yeah,
just owning it.
Having one. Yeah. But because I had one, I had some guys that wanted to start a bluegrass band up. And so I started to try to figure it out. And that's been about an 8-year project. But no, I actually grew up in a lot of folk music. My mom was a big Arlo Guthrie, Woody Guthrie kind of a thing. And a lot of Neil Young type of folkish kind of music, because I'm 61, so my generation had a lot of that stuff in the 60s and the 70s and whatnot. But I also have a lot of gospel in me because my dad was a Methodist minister. And so I grew up in the church, grew up in choir music and choral music and listening to that kind of thing. And I think that obviously comes out in some of the stuff that I write. Yeah. Boom Boom is very much a gospel-tinged song. So there's a lot of influence in me. And then, of course, I met Michael, and everything that I thought I knew about banjo and bluegrass just went out the window. At this point, Kevin, who's our classically trained, he's got a master's degree from Florida State in classical guitar. is teaching me how to play banjo in a classical, more arpeggio, up and down the neck style. So I have a lot of...
You got a lot of learning to do.
I have a lot of background, but I have such a long way to go, and I don't honestly know if I have time to get there.
Well, it is kind of rare to see what I would say to some degree is a multi-generational band. I mean, but I think there's such value in so much of that. How do you guys do the songwriting? Does everybody contribute to songwriting? Are there a couple of you that do it? How does it work out?
So Michael's our primary songwriter, and Jody contributes songs as well. And they come in with a pretty solid idea of the tune and the arrangement and lyrics and all that. That's all them. And once they bring it, we kind of develop it as a group, and we kind of take our time with that. And we often our kind of mantra is it's a journey, brother. So the way it presents itself at its first rehearsal is likely not how it's going to end up on the album, and it may go through several manifestations before we get there. But we've got some really imaginative lead players in Kevin Patrick Fleming on guitar and Adam Poulin on fiddle, and they're also classically trained, and they have great arranging skills as well. So they add a super compositional element instrumentally to what we're doing. And Give Me a Reason on the record is kind of the manifestation of that, if you will, that approach.
If people want to find out about you, where can they get more information? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, so basically you can go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And also you can go to our website, grasslandstreetband.com. And so
then they can see the video that you guys recorded at
we
Echo,
have a
too.
little documentary.
It's a great little mini doc. That's really good.
We really enjoyed making that. Our friend Jake G made that, and he's a wonderful videographer, so check it out. And if you need a video made, go to Jake G.
Yeah.
And go to Echo Mountain. It's an awesome studio that everybody should record at.
All right.
Julian Dreyer did an amazing job. Thank you.
Kick down the door, children, kick down the door. Boom, 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 kick down the door. to kick down the door. Children, kick down the door. Boom, 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 boom. Kick down the door. Kick down the door. Children, kick down the door. Boom, 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 boom. Kick down the door. Got to kick down the door. Children, kick down the door. Boom, 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 boom. Kick down the door. Kick down the door. Children, kick down the door. Boom, 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 boom. Kick down the door.
Well, that does it for another Good Gracious Show podcast, but it doesn't have to end here. You can stream all 50 episodes right off your computer as if you're listening to the radio at www.goodgracioushow.com. And you can also like us on Facebook to keep posted on what's going on, as well as follow us on Twitter at GG Show Atlanta. Please share this podcast with your friends, family, strangers, people you think might need a smile today, somebody who might need a little uplifting. That music from Grassland String Band is pretty moving. So get out there, take on the day, and we'll see you next week.